Hey guys, Grayson here. Welcome to my channel. Well, today I'm going to be planting yet more plants that I started from seed back on March the 16th. Now, this is a tray full of black-eyed Susans. Today I have two different types of black-eyed Susans and Shasta Daisies. I have purple coneflowers, I have English daisies. I have a ton of stuff that I need to get in the ground, but I know for sure I'm going to be getting these black-eyed Susans in the ground. We've been blessed with an overcast day today. We've actually had quite a bit of rain the last week, and we were in a drought for the longest time, so we are so thankful to have this rain. And these plants are definitely ready to get out of their seed trays. Now, I up-potted these back on April the 19th, and as you can see, they have put on a tremendous amount of growth. I can't even believe it. These are just before blooming. They're beginning to form up with buds all over them, so let's go ahead and get started. This is going to be a great spot for them up here. Now, last week I planted the gold dust alyssum here on the very front of this bed. I just want to do a big swoop of all of these black-eyed Susans and Shasta Daisies all in this area. Now, I have two different types of black-eyed Susans. I have Rudbeckia and I have Goldilocks. Now, out of the two, the Rudbeckia is going to be the tallest. It's going to get anywhere from 1.5 to 2 feet tall, and it's your traditional black-eyed Susan, the one that we're most familiar with. Now, Goldilocks is a little bit smaller. It's going to get anywhere from 1.5 to possibly 2 feet tall, and it is more golden than the Rudbeckia. Rudbeckia is a little more yellow. Goldilocks is, of course, more golden yellow, and it has more of a frilly edge. The petals are more frayed, so those are going to be a really nice contrast in here. And then the Shasta Daisies, I have Silver Princess. Silver Princess is a dwarf variety of Shasta Daisy. You know, some Shasta Daisies get really tall. The Silver Princess stayed down low. They're going to get about 1 foot to 1.5 feet tall and wide, so I'm looking forward to those. Now, the Shasta Daisies are hardy in growing zones 5 through 9, and then the black-eyed Susans are hardy in growing zones 3 through 9. And that's quite a span for those black-eyed Susans, so I'm excited to get them in the ground. So let's go ahead and get started. And here they are, all in their new bed, tucked into their new home. I have 7 of the Silver Princess Shasta Daisies, and then I have about 41 of the Goldilocks and the Rudbeckia Black-Eyed Susans sweeping all the way around that connects up here by the Dusty Miller. So I think that's going to be a beautiful drift. And they're all here looking great. Also, I tucked in 3 lupins here, here, and here. And these are big spire-like plants. And then I also tucked in 3 purple coneflower, the Echinacea purpurea, here, here, and here, and they look really good. I also have Lenten rose dotted in, as well as a few elephant ear bulbs that I have in. I think I have 4 or 5 of those that are just beginning to sprout up, and this bed is beginning to really take shape and fill in. I just wanted to get all these perennials in so they can start doing their thing and filling this bed in, and hopefully we can get some really nice perennial flowers out of them. Everything looks green and healthy. Now, the thing with these Black-Eyed Susans is they're a little floppy, which is pretty normal. So whenever I was hardening them off, I had them in a shady area and they were stretching towards the sunlight. That's why they're a little tall and a little floppy. So as soon as these bloom, I'm gonna cut them back, and then that's gonna help them to stand up a little better, because the root system just can't support all of that growth right now, because that's a lot of plant to support being this young. But I'm super happy with them. I think they all look fantastic. I can't wait to see how they develop and grow. Of course, the purple coneflowers just look amazing. Look how deep, dark green they are. The lupins, and I'll see how they do in this area. You know, it's kind of an experiment too. I need to find out what's going to do well in this area and what's not. And that's going to do it for today's video and project. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed it and were inspired in some way to get out in your garden today and get some things planted. And as always, thank you for watching Gardening with Grayson. I'll see you next time.